Okay, so we'll just quickly run through like the synthesis method, right? The preparation of lanarkite, Pb2SO5, is lead oxide and lead sulfate powders were uniformly mixed in a molar ratio of 1:1 and reacted at 725 degrees Celsius for a period of time. And then we have sample synthesis of LK-99, lanarkite, and Cu3P. So that's the copper and phosphorus, were uniformly mixed in a molar ratio of 1:1 and reacted at 925 degrees Celsius for 10 hours under a vacuum of 10 to the negative 5 torr. A dark gray ingot was obtained, which was then shaped into thin cuboids for electrical measurements or pulverized for other analyses. And so like, yeah, it's a hella kind of basic process to do this.
Yeah, I say we try replicate it, guy. I say we forge it, guy. We'll buy the suits like you're talking about.
Yeah, we're gonna need we're gonna need hella suits. So I've got a PDF here real quick, and I'll just share my screen. We can go through and look at a couple of these things. Okay.
Looks like did you mark up the study, guy?
Yeah, this is me writing. What the fuck is a superconducting quantum well?
Yeah, what the fuck is it? That's right. A well. Well, the well is what is allowing for this technology to work, right? It's a different way of going about it.
Yeah. So I don't fully grok this yet, but like I can sort of explain it a little bit. So we'll go down. So yeah, we got a bunch of stuff for just me highlighting things. These are the graphs that show the superconductivity.
Sorry,
you went hard on the doobs. So yeah, we like, we're not going to go through and read this whole paper on the story, like on our pod, but if anyone wants it, we can link it in the show notes. If anyone wants my janky ass scribbled version, we can also link that. So this is the interesting thing, this volume reduction of 0.48%. I was like, this seems to be key. Why and how? And so there's like, yeah, this is a fascinating mechanism. I'm going to come down to, there's some graphs down here that show it a little bit better. Okay, so here we have, this is like the sort of like high level. If you looked at the structure of LK-99, this is what you would see. We can kind of zoom in on this, and you can see that. So you have your PB1, PB2, and then you have the phosphorus around. Yes. Give me a sec. Back out. Okay. So what we this is the lead apatite, the LK99 synthesized in quartz tube, and then the LK99 synthesized in the Cu tube. So what you can see is you get this sort of like, you have the same components, right? So you still have like, you got 6 here or 3 of each, and then you've got 3 of each and you've got 3 of each here. But you can see there's this like volume reduction because these things kind of like partner up next to each other, right? And then apparently, this is the crazy thing, is you have this volume shrinkage and stress, which creates these quantum wells that allow the electrons to sort of like use quantum tunneling to like move from one place to another, which is like that lossless kind of vibe, where there's no restriction, there's no friction. If that kind of makes sense. Freaky diagram. Does any of that sort of resonate?
Interesting. What's really interesting about this, Rubes, is that recently, we mentioned this on the last podcast as well. When I brought up the Sean Ryan podcast, how there are certain technologies that companies like try and shut down. The Greer guy I mentioned before, he's been talking about a technology that uses free, it's like a 0-point energy. Do you think that because he's been coming out and whistleblowers have been coming out about that the scientists released this and this could be part of that technology, that 0-point energy technology?
I don't know, but I don't think so. It definitely, like, if you could get 0-point energy and this happening, game changer. But Zero point energy is harnessing the vacuum energy. This is leveraging quantum wells or quantum tunneling to get that superconducting property. But like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know if it's because of that. Maybe there is a small influence. Maybe there's none.
It could be a component, right? But it could be, it's possible it could be a component.
Possible it could be a component for sure. I just think this is like, you get enough passionate, interested people together, you allocate that human computation and problem solving and all that, and you collide that together enough and you get amazing results. And like, this is the kind of shit, like, one, it's like, it's possible in our universe. So, we just haven't known how to do this. And then you put enough people together, give them time and energy and some money, and amazing shit can happen. So whether or not that there's a role of like different people talking about different technologies and possibilities that gets people thinking about solutions to this kind of stuff, I'm sure that plays a role to some degree. Whether or not it's the only thing, I doubt. But yeah, like, it could be.
I love your attitude about everything, Rubes. You're so fucking positive about everything, and you're so what's the word? When the opposite of pessimistic.
Optimistic. Yeah.
Optimistic. Fuck.
I'm an optimist guy.
I love it, guy. I love it. Fuck yeah.
I'm just going to, there is just a slight more on this PDF that we can go through. So I just want to go down. I have to reread. Yep. Okay, so we're just going to go down to the methods. So, materials and methods. For the sample synthesis of LK-99, the general solid-state reaction was used. Lanarkite and Cu3P were uniformly mixed in a molar ratio of 1:1 in an agate mortar with a pestle. So that's that. The sample was put into a reaction tube, sealed under the vacuum of 10 to the negative 5 torr, and reacted at 925 degrees Celsius for 10 hours. After the reaction, a gray ingot was obtained reproducibly and then made into the shape of thin cuboids for electrical measurement. For other analysis, it was pulverized and used as the form of powder. The reagent used for the above solid-state reaction was PbO, PbSO4, and Cu and P. So that's your leads, your phosphoruses, your copper, and phosphorus. PbO and PbSO4 powders were uniformly mixed in a molar ratio of 1:1 in an agate mortar with a pestle, and then after the sample was transferred to an alumina crucible, it was reacted at 725 degrees for 24 hours in a furnace. After completion of the reaction, white sample was obtained. It was pulverized with the mortar. That was preparation for lanarkite PbSO5. That's how they made the lanarkite. This is the preparation for copper phosphide, Cu3P.
I wonder what they didn't write. Sorry to interrupt. I wonder what they left out of the methods. They probably left out a lot of really important shit, eh?
I don't know if they would have left out a lot of really important shit, because the whole idea of publishing a paper is that it's reproducible to other people, but it's probably like the nuances and the intricacies of the process and like lots of little shit that like you'd only sort of learn by trying to do this like hundreds or thousands of times. So like, I don't know if they would have left out much, but yes, you're right. That's an interesting thing. Like if they may have left stuff out.
I guarantee you they left out mad shit, guy. There's no way I don't think they would be telling people exactly how to do it. They want people to struggle.
Yeah, maybe.
Get it developed, guy. Well, science is mad controlled. That's like one of the issues with science. Like it's a lot more controlled than we're aware of.
Yeah, but these guys are from their own little sort of lab. Like they've got their own little thing. Like they're not, like apparently they're part of Samsung, or they got funded by Samsung in some way, but they're not part of like, university sort of research. They've got people on board who are part of those things, but like, I feel like these guys are kind of like trailblazers in a sense.
But they're funded by Samsung, guy. Samsung is like a massive conglomerate.
Yes, but they like might have just received money from Samsung with some sort of agreement or note, or like, if you do make a breakthrough, then, we can buy it or we can have access to it. I don't know the intricacies of the details. I just don't trust scientists. Like
Scientists have the biggest egos. No, Joe, straight up, Rubes. They have the
I
biggest
agree with you.
egos. The
I
biggest
agree.
egos in the world are scientists.
Guy, I don't. Yeah,
Guy,
they're up there.
no, hold on. Who has bigger egos than scientists, Guy?
Andrew Tate.
No, negative. Fuck that. There are scientists way more egotistical than him.
The Rock. I agree with you. Absolutely, I completely agree with you. But blanket terms like all these people are this or all these people are that, can be useful in some settings, but they're like, oh, the rule is this. Yeah, but there's always the exception to the rule kind of thing. And so like, yes, I agree with you broadly. Like I do tend to think that it is a huge problem, but I also am a perma optimist and I'm like, these dudes may just be fucking gangsters. And
I know. I took a shot at breaking down that wall, Guy. I took my shot.
That was good. I honestly, I broadly agree with you. Like it's true. Like, and the egos get in the way of so much progress. Like this is why, traditional science is all about like incremental progress along like these sort of paths. Whereas like the real breakthrough shit comes from like sidestepping and doing an oblique or like a orthogonal thing to that. And I'm like, this is kind of what these guys have done. Like they've gone a completely different track. They're not trying to do the low temp or the pressure thing. They're just like, no, let's just try this other way. And apparently they've been working on this for a mad long time, and they've been rejected a bunch of times for other stuff. And now they've just like published this paper. And so, yeah, it's fucking cool shit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So just quickly, I'll just run over this last little section with this preparing the copper phosphide, the Cu3P. So they use copper and phosphorus powders were mixed in a composition ratio, and the sample was transferred in a quartz tube. The tube was sealed under the vacuum of 10 to the negative 5 torr and reacted at 550 degrees for 48 hours in a furnace. After taken out from the tube, a dark gray ignot was obtained and pulverized. So then they use this, they set up for all their the electrical properties and the measurement, and they go through. So like, it's a very interesting read, this paper. I had to Google a bunch of shit. I had to reread a bunch of shit a bunch of times, but it was actually like really quite informative. I want to go through it another 1 or 2 times so I can like more deeply grasp these concepts and what really happened. But like, it's super cool and it's actually quite accessible. Like with a decent amount of Googling and some Twittering, you could start to understand this and the process of this quite well. So yeah, fascinating stuff. We'll link the papers. We'll do all that sort of stuff. But yeah, do we want to
who are the 3 names? Who are the 3 future Nobel Peace Prize winners? We should give them a shout out, Guy.
Suk-Bai Lee, Jim Hoon Kim, and Young Wen Kwon.
Shit, yo, those guys sound badass as fuck. Yo, shout out to you guys, man. Yo, some 3 scientists with some big dicks right now. All right.
Big balls.
I guess we'll find out how big their balls are. How
exactly.
big that dick is soon.
So it's pretty cool shit. It really is very, very, very cool stuff. And yeah, this volume shrinkage and this superconducting quantum wells is fascinating. And that likely opens the door for a bunch of other stuff that can have huge implications. It's just really, really, really cool stuff.